Shalom. I like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of Israel today. And salutations to my Achium, who do this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, and the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we are the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. This is your brother Akali from the GMS Jamaica Kingston camp, and this video is a prophecy update regarding the prophecy of World War III. Now, keep in mind, before this prophecy pops off, manifests in all of its fullness, the mark of the beast prophecy, which is the mark chip, has to be manifested first. All right? In the way that it speaks about in Revelation chapter 13 and verse, well, starting from 15, 16, 17, and 18, to be honest, but also that Revelation 3 and 10, that hour of temptation. All right? It has to become mandatory worldwide to take in order to buy or sell. All right, so that has to come first. But right after that comes, it's only a matter of time before the World War III prophecy happens. And we know prophecy has to be in this order, because once World War III starts, which is called the War of Armageddon in Revelation chapter 16, then it's going to reach the point of the destruction of America, which is Mystery Babylon the Great. So, of course, America can't be destroyed and then the mark chip comes. No, because in Revelation chapter 14 verse 9 to 10, it talks about the destruction for those who take the mark chip, all right, that will take part in that thermonuclear destruction. So the mark chip has to become mandatory, which is the mark of the beast, in America before America becomes destroyed. You see? Okay, so we have this build-up of the World War III prophecy, which is happening more frequently as we're in these last days. All right, all prophecies are building up a lot. Even, going back to this Mark of the Beast prophecy, right? Because I did a video yesterday regarding it, which had completely pertinent information in regards to how it is that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the rulers of this wicked kingdom today, specifically their wicked elite, are moving forward with the implementation of it and how it ties into everything that's going on. Of course, I'm on my backup channel now, which is like a backup channel at this point, because they struck the video down, which that's a good sign, right? Because when it is that when you bring up very important information in regards to biblical prophecy, in regards to the moves that they're making or are very close to make, and they strike it down, that's a good sign, man. Because there was a time when they didn't strike down any videos regarding the mark of the beast, right? But now you have to be careful, because they just be striking that down, all right? Depending, of course, but the next thing is, for Achium, whenever they strike down our videos, man, I mean, yeah, it is what it is, but at the same time, guess what? The angels already took a record of that video and they took it up to the heavens. So your work ultimately does not go unnoticed. You know what I'm saying? Because we do put effort into it, and we take great joy in doing the work of Yahweh Shimon Shai and putting information out there to warn the people, as we're supposed to do. So, but guess what? Yahweh Shimon Shai knows that it's been done, and that's a treasure up in heaven right there. So anyway, that's a little bit of a sidetrack, but it was on my spirit. That's just how it is. So getting back into the main event, which is this World War III prophecy, All right, it says in Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14, the second woe is... All right, Salakio had a phone call coming in. Revelation 11 and verse 14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So the third woe is talking about World War III, and behold, it cometh quickly. Yeah, it's coming quickly, man. All right, and we're in the midst of the build-up of it. Okay? So let's get into this. Israel will be destroyed if it makes any mistakes with us, Iran warns. All right? Any mistake Israel makes against Iran will only accelerate Tel Aviv's destruction, the commander of the Islamic Revolution Guards Corps Aerospace Force has threatened. He went on to claim that while Tel Aviv may start an altercation with the Islamic Republic, it will be Iran that ends it. Should Israel make any mistake in its dealings with Tehran, Iran will only speed up its eradication, Brigadier General Amir Ali Hajzadeh warned. Iran launched fresh military drills last month, deploying its army's Air Force units, citing Tehran's concerns over a Zionist presence near its borders. The exercises involved both manned and unmanned aircraft. In mid-October, Tel Aviv's Foreign Minister Yair Lapid made the assertion that Israel reserves the right to act at any given moment and in any way in reference to stopping Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon. Lapid went as far as to say that it's the state's responsibility since Iran has publicly stated it wants to wipe us out. Israeli Prime Minister Naftali, which they're always the victim. They are always the victim. The Edomites, they're always the victim. They're the main aggressor, but they're always the victim. This is how the devil works, man. Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, the first part of the name, Naftali, issued a warning regarding Iran's atomic program at the United Nations General Assembly in September, remarking that it is at a critical point and one step short of weapons-grade material. Since then, President Trump pulled the U.S. out of the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, known as the Iranian Nuclear Deal, and slapped sanctions on Tehran. Iran has started to enrich uranium beyond the terms of the deal. President Biden has expressed interest in So, a very brief article, but it lets you know what time we're in, man. Signs of the times. Current events is biblical prophecy, as the elder Apostle Tahar said. And this right here fuels the prophecy as well of Matthew chapter 24, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And then it continues and it says, for these are the beginning of sorrows. And it says, but the end is not yet. Right. The end is not yet because first, that mark of the beast prophecy has to be fulfilled before this can happen. You see? And then, of course, we have the famine that's coming in, the pestilences, Jacob's trouble. All of these things must come to pass. The persecution of the prophets, the famine of the word. All right, so get this word right now and clarification. It's a famine of hearing the word. Okay? People won't be able to hear the word as readily available as you have it now. But anyway, let's get into biblical prophecy regarding this. So Iran is a major player. All right? In the book of Ezekiel chapter 38, it says that it talks about Russia, which is Gog and Magog as they dwell in that land today. And it mentions one of its allies. So I'm going to go straight to the allies. Okay, so in verse 4 it says, a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling sword. Verse 5, Persia. All right, the Persians today are known as the Iranians, who are the biblical Elamites. All right, they're also known as the Carmanians. Right, and then the reason, so Iran is an ally to Russia. And it says that in verse 7, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia's a guard unto Iran. And that's part of the reason why Iran feels so emboldened to go at the state of Israel like this. Okay, because they're no longer afraid. The heathen are no longer afraid because they also have nuclear capabilities and they're aligned with each other and aligned with a lot of power. Okay, so they're not afraid. All right, and since I mentioned the Carmanians, this is the spirit that the Iranians, Iran, are going to be pushing through with, man. Okay, so I'm going to start at 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 28. Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots. So that's talking about the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs, because they're going to be taking part in this as well. And the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So they're going to be pushing through swiftly. Okay. Also the Carmanians. The Carmanians are the Iranians. Once again, the biblical Elamites. Raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come. With great power. All right. So it's going to be them, Iran and Russia and the rest of the allies, and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the lands of the Assyrians. And the Assyrians here is referring to the Edomites, man, because they're going to lose. All right, they're going to go to battle, and they're going to lose. Israel, the state of Israel, is going to do things to cause it to happen, and then it's going to draw America out, as it says, the least of the flock. Jeremiah 50 and verse 45, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh that he hath taken against Babylon, which is America, and his purpose is that he hath purpose against the land of the Chaldeans, referring to the Edomites. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, referring to the state of Israel. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Right, because they're going to lose. So the state of Israel is going to do things. It's going to draw out America. It's going to draw out the allies. All right. So the whore is going to be drawn out, America, and the beast is going to be drawn out, NATO, and the 10 horns, of course, which is a part of it, the European Union, and they're going to go over there and they're going to lose. Okay. And then as it pertains to Revelation chapter 17 verse 16, America's allies are going to eventually turn against her. Okay. So let me get my last precept in the book of Joel. Oh, and by the way, it's going to start over there in the so-called Middle East, as it says in Joel chapter 2 and verse 20. All right. Actually, let me just get that, man. Get it. But I remove far off from you the northern army, which is talking about US and NATO, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, which is Saudi Arabia, and with his face toward the east sea, the Euphrates River, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, the Red Sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. So once again, they gonna lose. Okay? And ultimately, all these heathen gonna lose, man. Because Yahweh Shemishah is going to bring them over there to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and they're all going to end up losing, man, because at the end of the day, once America is destroyed, Yahushua is going to return, and they're all going to go into slavery. Starting with Esau, Edom, and specifically the elite of Esau, Edom. Joel 3 and verse 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Be your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So the weak is saying, I am strong. All right, that's why Iran is so emboldened right now against the state of Israel. Okay, and these other heathen nations, because of the nuclear capabilities which they've been given by Yahweh Shemishai. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither, cause that mighty wants to come down, O Lord Yahweh. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh's judgment, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And that's just what it is, man. All right? And we're moving full speed towards this prophecy and all the other prophecies, man, because we're at the end of days. With that, I'd like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai, Bashim Kakwadesh, Wa Abad, Babal, Shalom.